have 60 days to lodge an appeal with the Industry, Trade and Cooperatives Cabinet Secretary, Adan Mohammed. Brian Obuya, KT News.
All right, it is about that time here when we talk about your money exactly. And today we're going to be talking about employment, especially in the real estate sector. What kind of employment do they offer? What do you need to qualify in order to get employment in the real estate sector? And of course, joining me in studio to have that discussion, to my immediate left is Dorothy Okello, who is a sales executive at Safe Real Estate Company. And next to her is John Mlama, who is the HR manager at the same company, which is a Safe Real Estate Company. Thank you very much for making the time to come to the show. I'll start with you, John. Of course, real estate employment. This week, especially what we've been seeing in the past, the cycle of unemployment in the country. How is it for you when you're sourcing for, your employees?
Thank you so much for welcoming Safe to this particular Morning Express. Yeah. Well, like just any other industry, employment, normally you look at the skills, you look at the attitude, and you look at the knowledge of the candidates that you want to bring on board.
Yes.
And in most cases, each and every industry has its own job specifications. But I want to say that for SAFE, we have been more or less looking at bringing on board the youth. In our various advertisements, for example, we look at the training. Some of these people may not have the actual experience in property industry. But we know that we can mentor them. We know that we can counsel them to come up to what we want them to be. And in our marketing strategies, whether we are looking at promotion, whether we are looking at campaigns, or whether we are looking at activations, we sample out especially the candidates who have finished the university. We have what we'll call an overview interview, just to assess their ability in whichever area, whether it is graphic design, whether it's digital marketing, whether it's in sales. And then if we realize that this person has the potential, even if the person does not have experience in property industry, may not have done a specific course towards that, then we bring that particular person, him or her, on board. Then it is our duty as HR and the team to mentor this particular person to where we want him or her to reach.
And I like what you've stated, despite them having experience, you can always mentor them. I don't know, Dorothy, for you, of course, I don't know if this is your first job or you've been working before. How was it for you when you're joining SAFE as a sales executive?
Okay, thank you so much, Ashley, for welcoming us in the studio this morning. I've been with real estate for SAFE Properties for two months now. Yeah. I have 4 years experience in real estate, and it has been good. So when I joined Safe Properties, I had an experience. I'm acquainted to the market, and I can say we are part of the team that trains the incoming, whether they know more about real estate, whether they know more about real estate, if they don't have any experience. So we are part of those people who come in, step in, and give them the knowledge that we are currently experiencing in real estate.
All right. Yes. And of course, you talked about skills. Real estate needs so much skills from, architecture and all the skills labor that come into developing of an apartment or a house. For you, how has it been, especially because there's the issue of papers versus skills? Do the papers really determine if someone is going to be employed or not?
Well, yes and no. But I want to say yes, because when you are looking at hiring a quantity surveyor,
yes,
when you are looking at hiring a person who will do procurement, then you are looking at the papers. does this particular person have the requisite papers, qualifications for this particular job? And after you have looked at that, and we are looking at it from the head of section or the head of department level, then you may have picked somebody at the degree level, sometimes at diploma level. But then remember, our job market have our children who have certificates, some of them who have worked with various other construction companies. They know the thing, they have the skill, but they do not have the papers.
Yes.
So if you are now recruiting any person who will be an assistant to this particular person, then you are going to look at the skills that this particular has, not necessarily the papers, but the skills that this particular person may have developed with time. There are also very intelligent people who may have no particular experience, but who show the interest to learn. And that's the time you pick that particular candidate, place that particular candidate together with whoever has the qualification, and then you say, can you drive on with this particular person? And you will be assessing this particular person from time and again through appraisal performances.
Yes.
So you want to see how does this person actualize the skills in 1 month, 3 months, and so on. And after you have done like that, you have, in actual fact, taken this person through an intentional level of learning.
Yes.
Yeah. So it is more or less, I don't want to look at it as internship. I don't want to look at it as attachment. I want to look at it as somebody who is learning on the job.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, they become very proficient.
And they do deliver.
Very good.
All right. So, of course, SAFE was formed in 2016. How many projects have you had?
So far, we are having our second project. Our first project is in South Sea called Muhoho Avenue. We have a 12-story building of 36 units going for 12 million, and it's currently under construction. So at the same time, we are working at Kilimani. This is a project that is starting in June.
Okay.
So we are planning to do several projects. In this way, we create more opportunities for the youth that are unemployed. Just as my colleague Mr. Mulama here has said, we do have most of marketing platforms, and this marketing, we do it like every other week.
Okay.
And every week we make sure that we bring in people who are looking for, at least people looking for employment for like shorter terms,
yes,
like 3 days, 3 to 4 days. So we train them to market our products, and that's when, if you see they're good they're good and getting acquainted with the products that we sell, then we try and bring them in and train them more about the project.
All right. So
Yes.
per project, how many people do you employ, roughly?
Roughly, we can go beyond 35 to 50.
All right.
Because you are looking at the marketing strategies, you are looking at the sales strategies, and you are looking at the construction. And that is where it takes the biggest number of people. So we run between 35 to 50 persons at every given time. And sometimes we may increase depending on at what level of construction we're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe when we are doing casting on various floors, then you find that the number of people will grow because we require quite a lot of manpower to do the casting. Yeah.
All right, then. So casting is more of long-term than short-term? Because she said you have short-term contracts and, of course, you have long-term contracts. Do the long-term contracts are more than the short-term?
Yes.
I'm trying to understand.
Okay, thank you. The short-term, as she says, are those opportunities that we give. Most of them are students from the universities Those ones will be doing activation that is coming up with an event at a particular point, like we were in Nyaya Center last Friday and Saturday, so that they are able to sell the product to whoever they will meet at the center. That will take about 3 to 4 days. But we have the long term. If we have picked on people to work on the site, they will have to go through, unless the person himself, in one way or the other, feels that he may not continue, maybe sickness or something else. But we go through the project for 2.5 years until the construction is over.
All right.
So once it's over, then as we go to another project, we may proceed with them, or we may pick on others, depending on the wish of the person that we have taken.
All right. So SAFE, of course, formed in 2016. How has it been, in the market, considering most Kenyans are usually reluctant on buying things or trusting people or companies that they haven't heard of them before? How is it for you?
Okay, for me, not so many people trust in off-plan.
Okay.
But once you give them the company background and the terms of payment that we have, gives us more opportunity and gives us advantage compared to our competitors.
Okay.
Like for now, for us, we give a 12-year payment plan. Of course, something that is very affordable to more people in the industry.
With what interest?
At 0 interest.
0 interest.
Yes.
All right. So, of course, we want to take a short break here on Morning Express. But when we come back, of course, I want us to talk about that.